One of the most frequent complaints of the human beings is that of the inadequacy and the waning of the memory. With the concentration upon anything, it ought to be as bad as with the retaining of names, dates, and many other things. This apparent incapability, sudden or accrued over considerable time, to retain any data or to concentrate on anything, very often causes headaches when attempting to remember or to concentrate. Also, uncalmness, sleeplessness, and many other phenomena break forth and create a high degree of nervousness and insecurity. Even rising feelings of an approaching breakdown are not uncommon. All human beings suffering under these terrible things must become quite clearly conscious of one thing. Nothing in the least is lacking with their memory, because it is as unrestrictedly efficient as always. Namely, there is neither a weak nor a good or bad memory. There is only a fully efficient and correctly working memory, which indeed must be kept functioning by the human being. Hence, the causes of so-called memory disturbances, concentration difficulties, and memory blockages, etc., only lie partially in the lack of interest of the human being concerned, or in an overloading of the memory with rubbish, worries, and problems, with fixed ideas and other disturbing factors. If these disturbing factors become eliminated, then the memory and the concentration capability function quite suddenly again, like a miracle. Most of the causes and disturbing factors are those of the false thinking and behavior. Thus, example, tensions, stresses, self-mistrust, and the aforementioned fixed ideas. If the memory is always treated rightly, then it illustrates that so-called failures are only then possible when the human being overloads their memory with rubbish or underestimates this, and they deny its capabilities, if they are thus trusting it too little or even mistrusting it. For that reason, most with a failing memory only suffer from a bad and unreliable memory and from an inadequate concentration capability, because they imagine, due to a suffered damage or failure, that their memory and their concentration power has waned. The causes for that are mostly purely psychically connected. Consequently, the damage can thus again also be eliminated. However, through endless negative autosuggestions, as example, my memory is bad, or I cannot concentrate, the unlimited efficiency power of the memory and the concentration capability are blocked, and the willing capability suppressed. Such thoughts or utterances have a tremendous autosuggestive and feeling emphasizing effect on the subconsciousness, which logically comprehends such thoughts and utterances as a command, through which it logically passes everything on to the memory, which then buries everything within itself and forgets everything. Such a damaged memory and the concentration power must be newly awakened and brought into function again. In the first place, this occurs thereby that one affirms one's memory and concentration powers, and on the other hand, that one completes pertinent exercises which are fundamentally very simple and have nothing at all to do with hocus pocus or with sorcery and magic. There are very many and varied concentration exercises. Only a few can be mentioned here. One sits comfortably at a table and places a burning candle about 1 meter in front of oneself. One sits completely relaxed, looking at the lower rim of the candle flame for 5 to 10 minutes, whereby always thinking of the word sun. On the first day, the time of 5 minutes must be absolutely adhered to, whereas a minute more is always added to each of the following days. Having reached the 12th minute, every thought is switched off during the following 6 days of the exercise. Thus, one concentrates only on the lower rim of the candle flame during 12 minutes without allowing a thought to arise. After these additional 6 days, the 12 minutes are increased to 15, and while one gazes at the lower rim of the candle flame, one thinks about a red or a golden rose, which one observes and considers and gets acquainted with in one's imagination. This exercise should also be carried out for 6 days. Afterwards, during this daily exercise, one indulges in a wishful dream, in which case a time span of 15 minutes should be adhered to. A crystal ball fulfills the same purpose as the candle, if the sphere is clear and pure. The exercises remain the same as with the candle. A difference exists here only in so far that the sphere cannot create a flame, so consequently an additional light source must be used. A simple lamp suffices in order to provide the necessary light. The sphere must be placed on the table in such a way that the ray of light hits the crystal ball exactly in the center and creates a tiny point of light there, resembling a miniature sun. This tiny sun then serves as the concentration point. For the aforementioned concentration exercises, any crystals or precious stones may likewise be used. Thereby, it is only necessary that a piercing light reflection is created which is suitable as a concentration point. Although concentration is applied to anything and everything that a human being has an interest in, here are 2 examples of the application of concentration and attentiveness from the Goblet of the Truth. Therefore, if you want to suppress an illness or minimize or resolve an existing one, then you must put a great pressure on your body in a consciousness-based wise by concentrating solely on the illness or the afflicted area. through which the illness or the pain resolves, in which case you, however, leave the rest of the body completely out of your attention, which can in turn be befallen by illness or pain. This is the same effect as when you have toothache, which you push away in yourselves through fear when you go to the dentist. Truly, if you only have a little heedfulness and attentiveness for your thoughts and feelings, then you will recognize and perceive for yourselves what is the good and what is the evil, and indeed without having to speak it out or ruminate over it. Recognizing the good and the evil in yourselves in heedfulness and attentiveness is the right way of the cognition, not however a dull rumination, because this brings no cognitions but only confusion and waste of energy and power. Rumination works like stringy morass, like a swamp which pulls everything into itself and paralyzes and suffocates everything. It must always be considered that these exercises are carried out daily, always at the same time. The most suitable hours are between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m., in which case 9 p.m. would be the most exact time. Late morning or daytime hours are to a large extent unsuitable for these exercises. Through these exercises, concentration is learnt or relearned. Depending on the behavior of the person and their intensity given to the exercise, the point of light of the candle, the glass sphere, or of the crystal, etc., with time transforms into a small sun and slowly becomes ever larger. The end result is that the sun expands so much until it becomes a radiating brightness and fills the entire field of vision. Once this is attained, then each person can dwell in this peculiar sphere without any thoughts and be flooded with happy feelings, which are then able to preside over him or her for hours or days. The form and wise in which this happy feeling is created is called meditation.